Well, very rarely does the PCB give Backward Point a chance to celebrate on this podcast. It's very rare that Backward Point has the honor of having a Backward Point alumni coach a national cricket team. Yes, I am taking all the credit. Yes, with me as always is my brother, my co-host, Bashar Said. Bashar, Mike Hesson is the coach of the national Pakistan cricket team. He was also a guest on your podcast. How do you feel?
I can't believe you're celebrating the end of Aqib Ball.
Bro, I never celebrated the start of Aqib Ball.
What happened to the brush and the fans and the dryness?
Aqib Ball seemed more like a coup to me. I felt like it was like one podcast interview and suddenly you are now the high performance center chairman or whatever he is now. Like the ladder of escalation, that's a word we've been listening to a lot of in the news these days. That's crazy for Aqib. From going on like having no PCB role, I think he was leading the PDP program in Lahore Qalandars. From there to the national coach, winning a test match, brush, heaters, selection, anti-power, losses, Champions Trophy, and now here we are, man.
You've seen everything.
We make a lot of movie references on this podcast, and I think the one that comes to me immediately, and I may be overplaying my hand, and so forgive me if I'm giving the masses copium again, but let me take you back to Shawshank Redemption. The line from Morgan Freeman's character Red, where he says, Andy Dufresne crawled through a mile of shit to get clean on the other side, or something like that. I feel like you and I are Andy Dufresne, and Pakistan cricket fans are Andy Dufresne, and the guys on the Patreon chat are Andy Dufresne. And we have been crawling through a mile of shit to get to the other side, and Mike Hesson comes and he's like, hey guys, it's me, Mike Hesson, RCB coach, New Zealand coach to the final of 2015. I'm going to take you to the light.
Wow.
And I'm just like, Mike Hesson, take me wherever you want. Consent, 100%. I'm here. What else can I say, Bashar? What else can I say?
That's a wild way to put it. But it does feel like a fever dream. Like, especially if you look at Pakistan.
I'm getting hot, bro. I gotta roll up my sleeves for this podcast.
Especially if you look at Pakistan's T20 team. Babar Azam dropped. Salman Ali Agha, now the captain. And now we have Mike Hesson as the Pakistan's white ball head coach. I think this is an incredible development for Pakistan cricket.
Backward point.
No, provided that Mike is able to stay for what is being reported by Cricinfo, a 2-year tenure. So I would assume that Mike can coach Pakistan to the 2027 ODI World Cup with complete authority in selection, in setting up the team environment, and having the sort of outlook on cricket being played on the field that he wants to. Like, I will not be judging Mike Hesson on what happens in the next series against Bangladesh. I want Mike to get the full 2-year run as what was promised to Jason Gillespie, to Gary Kirsten. And we've seen the PCB is a toxic place where Jason and Gary weren't able to survive more than a few months. And so I want some sort of assurance that this time around with Mike, things will be different.
Give Mike 100% authority and give Yashi Sports 100% authority to be Canada's home of cricket.
There is no doubt about that.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about Mike Hesson, no doubt about Yashi.
It is. It genuinely is Canada's home of cricket.
Yes.
And I just had my first game today.
How was it?
Not bad. 3 overs.
Why wasn't I selected for the squad?
I bowled 3 overs up front, T20 match. 1 wicket, 7 runs. And I asked the captain, like, why did you not bowl me out? I have 1 over remaining. And he said that he's saving it for the next match.
Who said this? I think Abdul Razak said this.
Abdul Razak said this to Yunus Khan because in the final of the 09 T20 World Cup, he bowled 3 overs and 1 was left. And he's like, Yunus bhai, why didn't you bowl me out? It's like, I'm saving it for the next time.
Cheeky Yunus Khan. Yunus Khan in the news right now for some...
oh, yeah.
I mean, you're the one who's starting this propaganda.
Me?
But, Virat Kohli retired as, from Test cricket, one of the greatest batsmen of all time. And you're like, Yunus Khan was better.
You can use the code BP10 for 10% off your purchase at yashisports.com.
They have a new website.
New website linked
New design.
to Shopify.
Let's
a
go.
lot easier to use.
Yes.
A lot easier to navigate through them. I would encourage you guys, click on the link in our description, go to yashisports.com and check out their wide variety and collection of cricket equipment that they have. And it really is a one-stop shop for all of your cricketing needs.
Because sometimes I pinch myself because I feel very privileged to be a part of this podcast and whatever this podcast has given me. And this morning, when I woke up to the news of Mike Hesson being the national cricket team white ball coach, I had the privilege of just going into my DMs and shooting Mike Hesson a text, wishing him congratulations. Guess what? My boy was online. I got a reply right back. It's the quickest reply I've ever got in my life. And honestly, wonderful guy, man. Wonderful guy. Coach of the national team, and the humility and the humbleness as which was displayed when we were in Islamabad United last year continues on. And I think this is the guy. Because, okay, here's the thing. I've been singing a lot of Mike Hesson praises, which I know as you know, off the record as well. You're quite tired of this, but the problem with Pakistan cricket has always been clash of egos. Correct? It has been a clash of egos. You get a Waqar Yunus as national head coach, and he has problems with Misbah. He has problems with Afridi. He has problems with Mohammad Amir. He has problems with Imad.
Any big player or superstar.
Anyone who has mantled the coach position that has had baggage with him, like a history, a legacy, has had issues with current stars. Because it's very hard to take the hat off of a superstar and put the hat on of a management person. Those are very two different things. Like Shoaib Akhtar would be a horrible coach. That's my hot take of the day. You know that Subway Takes show that I was telling you about? If I was on Subway Takes, I would say Shoaib Akhtar would never be a good coach. That's my Subway take. Because his ego would always put him in front of the team. And this is why the Mike Hesson appointing is so important, is because Mike doesn't have that kind of baggage. Like, we asked him straight up in the Islamabad United podcast we were hosting, doesn't it feel weird to be a coach without having much international cricket? Actually, no international cricket.
No first-class cricket.
No first-class cricket. And he came out and said, yes, there is a little bit of a trust deficit that I have to overcome. But once I do that, it's game over.
I think Mike has moved past that. I think with his resume that he has in front of us.
Please relay the resume.
And I'd love to just pass on this information. If you live under a rock right now, it'd actually be a good time to live under a rock. You'll be quite safe. But if you do happen to be not in tune with the real world, Mike Hesson has an incredible coaching journey. Most players have quite a linear coaching journey where they're a professional player for a few years, they play domestic, they play internationals, and once they retire, they get into coaching. Mike Hesson started coaching at the age of 22. He was appointed as the director of cricket at Otago. Otago is a state team in New Zealand. So for 6 years, he served as the director of cricket. His first international assignment was coaching Argentina. Yes, you heard that right. He coached the Argentina cricket team in 2003. And then he came back to Otago, where he again served as the director of cricket there. And he led them to their first title in 20 years. Next, Mike took up the role of the Kenya head coach for a few months. So, I mean, I hope you can hear what I'm saying, that he's coached Argentina. He's coached Kenya. The Pakistan team, I hope it doesn't...
Pretty close.
It's pretty close.
It's in that same ballpark.
And then Mike's biggest job, I would say, thus far is probably being the head coach of the New Zealand team for a period of 6 years, from 2012 to 2018, where he coached New Zealand to their first ODI World Cup final. Now, before 2015 ODI World Cup, they had been making semis quite often, but they never played an ODI World Cup final. And so the credit goes to his partnership with Brendan McCullum and the entire New Zealand team for helping them cross that line at Eden Park against South Africa, where they made it to the finals. He also is the longest serving head coach for New Zealand. And amongst many of his achievements is the fact that New Zealand was a very good test team at home under his coaching. I think they won like 8 series out of 11, like 6 in a row. And there was a very long period where they were unbeaten in New Zealand. So that's what he did for New Zealand. And then at the end of 2018, he joined Kings 11 Punjab for the 2019 IPL, followed by taking up the role as a director of cricket at the Royal Challengers Bangalore, RCB, for 3 years.
Is that like a coaching role or is that more like
No, head coach
operations?
was Simon Kadich, and he was the director of cricket operations. And there he worked with Virat Kohli. He worked with AB de Villiers. RCB made playoffs under his directorship for 2 straight years in a row. And most recently, Mike has been serving as the head coach of the Islamabad United team, a team before him taking up coaching had not made it to the finals in 7 years. And they had not won the PSL in 7 years. Under Mike's coaching, under his vision, they made it to the finals. They won the PSL last year, and they went on a unbeaten winning streak of 10 games in a row.
Yep. Very, very well done summary of Coach Hesson, honestly. And I would urge everybody to check out our interview with him when we sat with him in the Islamabad United.
I'll
Season
actually
One
link
podcast.
it right here.
Yes, Bashar will do that. Not only that, it was our first interview of that season. He was our first interview, and he was so nice and punctual. I think we gave him a 6 p.m. time, and he was there at 5:55, and we were still setting up because we had just landed the night before, and so we were like, I remember you were trying to like just shoot.
I was
small talk with
stalling.
him.
I met him, and I looked at his shoes, and he was wearing Puma 1.8 shoes. I'm like, oh, nice shoes, man. Where did you get it from? He's like, yeah, man, Virat gave it to me. I'm like, excuse me? Yeah, Virat gave it to me. I'm like, you mean Virat Kohli gave you these shoes? He's like, yeah.
You're one person removed from Virat Kohli at that point.
1 degree
One
separation
degree yes.
from Virat Kohli.
Yes. And yeah, so like Mike Hesson was a very nice guy. He took his time, chatted with us for as long as, and not only that, I think the relationship that we built with him was actually in the mornings because he is an early riser. We were early risers because of jet lag. We would come down to the lobby almost at the same time, looking for good coffee. Both me and Mike would be like, bro, this is the PSL, but the coffee is shit. And I was told after the fact by many of my Islamabadi friends and former Islamabadi friends that we were just in the wrong area. Why did you let me know? Like a lot of those people were like, hey, mujhe batate, tumhe batate. Like at that moment, Mike and I were coffeeless. We had no caffeine in us. We were like shooting Red Bulls in our veins and try to get like, that energy bump. And so that's where we actually bonded with Mike. That and then the practices where he was, again, this is the character and the humility of the guy. He treated us like we were part of the team, like part of the 15-man squad. And I remember you and I snuck out, got KFC, sat in the car, in the bus, and we were munching down this chicken. And he walks in, he looks at us, he's like, "It's poison," and walked away. And we were like, "Man, now I feel bad."
He said we were being a bad influence on the team.
We were being a bad influence on the team. And
there's actually also one funny moment where we were shooting a vlog for our channel, which hasn't come out yet. I don't know when it will.
It won't come out anymore, guys.
But we were like interviewing Mike. I was like, what's going on? And he became all serious, thinking this is like going on the PSL site or Islamabad site. And we have a very good 30-second bit on Mike, like being very serious about the practice, what happened, what's going to happen, his mindset, his planning, his strategy. And I'm like, okay, wow.
Yeah, like he switches it on really well. The thing that I also noticed in the practices was just how comfortable players were with him. And I think that's one of the key elements right now in this boxing cricket team. There is a lot of division. We've heard about lobbying. We've heard about rifts between some star players. I think this is the type of guy that will come in and be able to mold these egos together. We've been looking at people trying to fix this and that. And I mean, Aqib Ball comes with an iron claw and he's like, Babar kaun hai? Babar ko bahar kar diya. Like he kicks out Babar, he kicks out this person. And you're just like, that's not the answer because you have already crushed the confidence of a guy who's already kind of on the downturn. Would I be surprised if Babar Azam finds a new wave, a new life, a new era starting with Mike Hesson coaching? Maybe, because he is coaching white ball as well. And Babar Azam, as we know, his ODI records, he's the guy. He's still the guy. And, maybe he doesn't see Babar and Rizwan in the future of T20s for Pakistan. That's fine. I think a lot of people are okay with that. If you want to turn a new era of boxing cricket, that's probably a sacrifice you'll have to make. But moving forward in the 2027 ODI World Cup, there is no way that Babar and Rizwan are not in that team. They have to be in that team.
Never say never.
Well,
it's boxing cricket.
They have to be. That's what I said. They have to be in that team. Like these are the guys who are the most trained, most experienced, who've been in that circuit for so long that it's a no-brainer that they won't be. And this guy, Mike Hesson, is the guy to guide this Pakistan team again through a mile of shit. bring us to the other side.
But provided he is given that same level of authority and his give authority, but take accountability. And you can't take accountability after 1 or 2 series. Give him a long run. The one thing I know about Mike Hesson, and this is because I've done leaps of research on him before we did the podcast with him last year, is Mike believes in squad mentality. Mike thinks if guys are going out there and playing for their spot, you can never win as a team. But if players think that the team's performance is a lot more important than their individual performances, then they will go out there and play those selfless knocks. They'll bowl those outstanding spells. And so I think it's going to take at least a few months for Mike to collect his thoughts for developing a squad of 20 guys, 25 guys where he can pick and choose from. And that's only when we can start seeing results, because immediately Mike Hesson does not have a magic wand where he can come in and swing it and the Pakistan team will start winning everything and anything.
What do you mean?
But
what do you mean he doesn't have a magic wand?
But I do think that the next 12 months are critical, with Pakistan having an Asia Cup scheduled.
Still going on, as we have understood.
A T20 World Cup scheduled for next year, and then an ODI World Cup after that. So this is a very critical 24 to 32 months coming up for Pakistan cricket. And I'm very happy Mike has joined in. My opinion on this podcast before was that with how Pakistan treated Jason Gillespie and Gary Kirsten, that we may never see a foreign coach apply for this job again. But amongst all the people, Mike to apply and get in, I think it's incredible. I'm very happy for him. I have heard that there are multiple clauses to his contract. Firstly, being at 2 years, there's a penalty from the PCB if they break it, and he also wants a say in selection, which is good. It's fair, right?
How does the selection committee fare out with him in it now?
From what I know, and I could be wrong, please fact check me on this, but the captain should be in there. The coach should be in there. We have a stats guy, Hassan Chima. We have Asad Shafiq. Azhar Ali, I believe, as well as in there. So it works based off of the majority of the votes. They have discussions on players, and then the majority wins. Well, I'm hoping because of Islamabad United, Mike and Salman have a good relationship. Hassan Chima is a former Islamabad United player.
So they might be on the same page.
It's not just because they're Islamabad United, but they're the same model of thinking.
They come from the same brain.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the great part about Mike joining is in the past 15 months, he's had a very close look at Pakistan cricket through the lens of the PSL. He's worked with players. He has done analysis on Pakistan cricket. He launched his YouTube channel and he's done breakdowns of what's wrong with the Pakistan team, what should happen.
When the whiteboard comes out, man.
You know it's getting real.
It's getting real.
And so I think because of that, this won't be a brand new experience for Mike, aside from working with the PCB. The players, for the most part, should be the same. He's been watching them. He's probably been working on them a lot because of his job with Islamabad, working on players' strengths, their weaknesses. And I hope he's gotten a chance to watch what talent pool we have, and then going forward, pick the right team for the right conditions. Going back to the squad mentality, I think when Mike comes in, he's going to make an environment with Salman Aliaga, in T20s at least, where there's equality. There's no superstars. There's no youngsters. There's no emerging guys. Everybody gets the same level of respect. Everybody has fun. And regardless of the results, you focus on the process. You focus on hard work. And you keep the same tone of the dressing room, regardless of whether you win or whether you lose.
I have a question. No, this has been coming to my mind for a long time. What kind of support staff does Mike Hesson get? Does he bring his own? Does the PCB provide him with the numbered people that they want him to work with? Does Hanif Malik get back into this team? Does Hanif Malik, the performance coach who's been coaching Shan Masood, Azam Khan, Saim Ayub, Ruman Reis, name the person. He's been coaching them. Haider Ali, Sauchaki. He single-handedly got Haider Ali out of his mindset, which he was locked in. You pair Hanif Malik up with Babar Azam, you put them in a room, you lock the room, you leave it for 6 months.
It depends.
Let them cook.
If Babar can trust Mike or not. I've gone back and I've watched some interviews of some great batters of a recent past, and one of them was Kevin Peterson. I was watching a batting masterclass of Kevin Peterson. He was talking about a dry run he had in his career, and he said, when I had that dry run, the first thing I did was go back to South Africa because that's where he's from. And he worked with a coach that he had when he was in his school days. And he faced a few balls, and immediately his coach stopped him and he said, "You're not doing what you did best as a kid." Kevin said, "What's that?" And the coach replied, "You're not getting your head to the ball." So within a few deliveries, his childhood coach was able to tell Kevin what's going wrong. Now, in order for that to happen, there needs to be a high level of trust between Kevin Peterson and his said coach. The same thing happened with Hashim Mamla. I was watching another interview of his where he said that he was going through a dry spell, goes to his coach as a teenager. The coach watches his batting and tells him what he's doing wrong. Who in the Pakistan cricket scene does Babar Azam trust as much to go to and discuss his batting? I would imagine Mickey Arthur could be one of those guys because Mickey worked with Babar in his initial days. He backed Babar a lot, especially in test matches. Now, it's important that Mike and Babar can develop that relationship. We asked Mike in the podcast we did with him that how do you coach somebody like Virat Kohli? How do you coach somebody like AB de Villiers? And Mike's response was that if somebody doesn't need any help, I will not touch them. If they're scoring runs, if they're doing well, I will not coach them anything. Because you can't coach Virat Kohli. You can't coach AB de Villiers. They're superstars, right? It's only until they come to Mike and be like, "Hey, this thing is bothering me. Can you work on this?" So Mike's not going to meddle with Babar's mindset or what he's going through unless Babar comes to him and asks. And he's not going to teach Babar how to hold a bat.
So the reason that Babar Azam was not able to go to a coach around the Pakistan circuit or the national team circuit was because of the revolving doors policy that the management had. Nobody was staying more than 3 or 4 months. Gary Kirsten barely had a tournament that he could coach this Pakistan team. So Babar, having the trust deficit with the coaching staff, was unable to actually address something that was concerning him. I think with Mike Hesson on the job and his team surrounding him, with the 2-year contract done and dusted, with penalties on the on the PCB, not only that, the bad look, the worst look of all, that you fire another foreign coach within 6 months. I don't think the PCB is ready to afford that. I don't think, even if Pakistan loses every single game Pakistan loses in the next 12 months, I doubt that the PCB will change Mike Hesson around because it's just too much is at stake at this point. They will never be able to find a foreign coach again, or at least the next 5 to 7 years until this era is gone. If they drop the ball on the Mike Hesson gig. So my understanding is, my thinking is, my analysis of this whole situation is that if Babar needs help, he can get it now because we have a coach that is locked in for 2 years. We have a coach supporting staff that is most likely locked in for 2 years. I want Hanif Malik to be in that supporting staff. Now, I had a friend, Shan, I was just talking to you about him. Great YouTuber, makes cricket content from Karachi, plays a lot of cricket in the regional sectors in Karachi.
Shan plays cricket?
Shan plays cricket is the handle. Shout out Shan. He just randomly, we talk about cricket all the time. He sent me a podcast that he listened to of ours. We did one with Clifford Deacon, and he thought it was a great podcast. Really opened his eyes on workload management and all that stuff. And I recommended he watched the Hanif Malik podcast, and he watched that, and he came back and was like, "This is amazing. This guy should be in the Pakistani cricket team. The work that he's doing is insanely good. You know this, I know this. We've seen it firsthand. There was a moment in the last year in the practices when we were in Islamabad United. I was watching him work with Shadab Khan. So it was him and Shady, and I was right beside Hanif Malik. So I was literally there. And obviously Shadab had some issues striking the ball, whatever. The patience that Hanif Malik took to just tell Shadab a very small thing, and then he started, doing 3 throwdowns with Shadab for hours. I think we were there for 90 minutes.
He also tied something on Shadab's arm.
Yeah, that was to lock him. That was a part of the practice, but it was the way he was talking to Shadab, because I was there. I was listening to everything, right? I was right next to Hanif Malik. And he was talking to him. He was also giving him a bit of tough love, but he was also giving a lot of positive reinforcements when Shadab was doing well. And then after the whole practice session, Shadab and Hanif Malik sit down and they're like, "So what did you do right? What did you do wrong? How did you feel?" Hanif Malik is asking these questions to Shadab. And Shadab is telling him, "Oh, I felt good here. I didn't feel that comfortable here. I should work on this more." And then it was everything that Hanif Malik told Shadab was all about his psychological thing. You're not playing the shot well. It's because your head is, you want to play the shot here. but you're not playing the ball on the merit. You should think about it. Think the ball think of the ball like this. Play the shot like this. Let your arms move like this. It's all a mental block. Take yourself out of your body. Play it like this. That's the type of thing that, basically got Saim on the right track because he was down and dusted. And if you listen to Saim Ayoub's podcast with Zalmi this year, you can hear the maturity in him, and that's all Hanif Malik. I think Babar needs that. Babar needs that guiding hand through the light.
I feel like I just one more thing on Hanif Malik, that we spoke to him off camera and he mentioned something of putting players under his trance.
Yeah.
I think he does a bit of hypnotherapy with players where he helps them go into Zen mode where they're only thinking about the present moment. Because if you're a player, if you think about your past failures, you can get out of that. If you think about what's going to happen in the future, you can't score runs right now. It was very important to be in the present moment. The one word he would say in Urdu is lamhai maujood.
I was just going to say, on your left, the shirt that the Islamabad United team signed last year for us, Hanif Malik signed it there as well. And it says lamhai maujood right there in Urdu. It says there. And as we were going through and getting everybody to sign it, Rahman Rahees saw this laugh and he was like, I can bet you $1 million that that's Hanif Malik. And I was like, that's Hanif Malik who said that, who wrote that. And like you were saying, sorry, continue.
So I think it's important to get people like this involved with the Pakistan men's team, because I do think there's a lot of value that they can add. And if Babar can improve his game, if Shaheen can improve and evolve his game, this is very important. If you've seen our players regress over the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And at this level, if you're regressing, you're basically going backwards. You're getting found out. And there's no evolution.
We know that Salman Ali Agha and Mike Hesson might have a really good partnership there in the T20Is. How effective do you think Mike Hesson will be in ODIs with Rizwan?
I think Rizwan and Mike need to have a fireside chat.
Okay.
And
talk about
they
it.
want to. They need to discuss what brand of cricket they want to play as a Pakistan team, looking ahead towards the ODI World Cup in South Africa. What players do we need? Openers, backup openers, middle order guys, fast bowling all-rounders. What squad can we assemble and give them an opportunity and back them for the next 2 years? So when we do get to South Africa, that we have a proper team there and we can play modern day cricket. And I know that it's going to be a tough conversation because Pakistan and Pakistani players have been playing ODI cricket in their shell, especially when it comes to big matches. And we saw that recently in the Champions Trophy, that once we lost our match winner and Fakhar Zaman and Saim Ayoub, we had nobody who could step up and play attacking and aggressive cricket.
Yeah. So do you think Mike Hesson will sit with Salman Ali Agha, Mohammad Rizwan, and have like a pool of 30 players? He's like, these are my 30 guys. I'm going to work with these guys for the next 2 years, and that's it.
Absolutely. I think what we've heard from players about Mike and a bit about Islamabad United and its management is that before the PSL or post the draft, Mike and the management have a call with the players, and individually they give them roles. So, for example, last year we spoke to Heather Ali, and he knew for a fact, rain or shine, he is batting in the lower middle order. So the weeks leading up to the PSL, Heather was practicing his six hitting, his ball striking, shot ranges, because he knew come the PSL, he's going to be playing at 5, 6, 7. That's exactly what he did. So giving players that role clarity, trusting them, and backing them throughout their failures, that's going to be the key to this Sal Mike era. I've named it. It's Sal Mike.
Sal Mike. It's not only just the role clarity of it all, it's the flexibility of it as well. I was texting Azam when he went to open for Islamabad United, the game that they won. And I was like, yo, you just open? Is that like a new role for you? Or is that what you're going to be doing moving forward? And he was like, honestly, I was told the day before that, hey, Azam, we want you to open. This is the target that we want you to set. They gave me the benchmarks, KPIs if you want. And I was just there to execute that. Now, I thought he was going to play the rest. The next game was dropped, right? So there is a not a revolving door of it all, but like a flexibility in how the team functions. Like you see Shadab sometimes at 4, sometimes at 3, sometimes at 8. Imad at 3, 4, 11 sometimes, 7 sometimes. Naseem sometimes at 6, sometimes at 8. Like, it's very flexible depending on the mode of the game, depending on where the game is headed. Mike Hesson and has that mindset of that everybody is disposable and everybody can be expandable in a different kind of way.
I think
which I like.
It comes with trust and flexibility, and trust and flexibility is what we have in Sendwave, because the rates can be flexible, but we trust them to have the most competitive rates on the market.
Yes, I totally. Sendwave worked with us this PSL. The PSL has not ended, so we're still running with Sendwave. If you guys want to get $10 off of your first transfer, what do you use, Bashar?
Score PK.
Thank you, sir. You use Score PK.
I've used it. You've used it.
Yes.
One of our Patreon members have used it. And I would highly recommend using Score PK if you're sending an amount to Pakistan that is $100 or over.
Because the exchange rate changes.
And you get an extremely competitive exchange rate.
You get a very competitive exchange rate that, is better than what it would have been if you send it less than $100. And use our code ScorePK, you get $10 off of that as well. So at least the first transaction for you is for sure for everybody using that.
And then you can judge yourself. Is this a Sendwave something that I want to use continually, or should I go back to my other apps?
And the best part of that is that they have no exchange fees. The only way that they make money is through the exchange rates. So you can send as much as you want. You don't get any transfer rates. So no transfer fees. They have exchange fees, but no transfer fees. So you can send as much as you want at however many times you want. There would be no transfer fees. The exchange rate is how they make their money. So you can be chill about it.
What can we expect from Mike Hesson in this role as a coach? I think,
man, I've already hyped it up.
The one thing we know about Mike is that he believes in his preparation. He believes in doing his homework. And last year, I remember he came to all of the training sessions with meticulous planning and preparation. He had a whiteboard, and he had every single second of the training session planned out: nets, match scenarios, catching practices, warm-ups, and
sweets from New Zealand.
He bought sweets from New Zealand for the team that won.
Yes, there was a practice match. Whoever won would get, the player of the match would get these sweets, and there was some fight about that. I think Naseem won. I believe.
So just having those small incentives and being honest and fair and building a team culture, that's what I want to see Mike Hesson doing with Pakistan team.
100%. I think that's what everybody wants to see. Mike Hesson, if you're watching this podcast, we believe in you. Thank you very much for taking this job up. I know it's a very difficult job to take up, and there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, but I appreciate you taking the risk with us.
Why did Mike take this job? My theory is that every man in his life needs challenges. Mike's coached Argentina, Kenyan, the New Zealand team, IPL, PSL, and now he needs another challenge in his life.
This is it.
And the Pakistan team, where it stands right now,
it is challenging.
It's challenging. I remember last year we spoke to Mike and we're like, dude, Islamabad have not made a final in 7 years. How are you going to turn this around? And he said that he was excited about the opportunity, the fact that they haven't made a final in 7 years, and that this time, under his coaching, they could do something different. So where the Pakistan team is right now, they're low in the rankings. They've been losing quite frequently in the past few
Morale
weeks.
is low.
Morale is low. A lot of instability and inconsistency. I think this is going to be an opportunity for Mike to write the chapter of Pakistan cricket for the next couple of years.
Amen, man. Amen. The PSL is back. The IPL is back as well. We will be covering the PSL daily. We'll be resuming from the 17th onwards. In the meantime, we do have some other news to get to. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma have retired from Test match, so we will be doing that podcast, shooting that probably tomorrow or day after. Excited about that. Excited about the cricket coming back, man. Honestly, there was a little bleak moment there where we thought the cricket might not come back, but you and I, most of our Patreon fans, everybody on the Patreon chat, most of our cricket fans are happy that the cricket is back in all regards. So we'll be covering all of that.
We were about to do a county cricket daily.
Yeah, county cricket daily almost
Sussex versus Essex.
We were there. We were watching those games. We were watching those games with Ernest. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good luck to Mike Hesson to coaching this national side. And good luck to you guys for going on the roller coaster ride with us. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.